Carbon-based life form. Check. 6 feet tall. Check. Slightly excessive adipose tissue. No.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Whispy Woodz. And today, you guys, we're going to kind of have just a calm down discussion about just some of the questions and some of the statements and messages that I've been getting through the channel. And really, I don't want people to think that I'm just picking and choosing certain questions. I'm taking a lot of the questions that I've been getting asked to me like on a frequent. So these are some of the questions that I've been getting 1,000 times in a day, just over and over and over again. So I'm just gonna answer them in one fell swoop. And along the way, I'm gonna show you guys something somewhat interesting and prove a couple of facts along the way. So like, comment, and subscribe. And we will be doing an update video after every so on that we gain enough knowledge for our theories and what we have gained so far about certain things. And I want a lot of people to understand what we've been gaining so far recently in Whispy Theories is the aspect of the egg. So keep that in mind. Okay, we have not branched off to these Easter eggs just yet. Okay, understand. We are focusing on time and a lot of other things that have to do with it. So, in keeping with that, I'm going to answer the first question that has been asked to me 1,000 fucking times since my last video. And don't take it personal if you ask this question. I've been asked this question 1,000,000 times, and I understand, okay? I just didn't think that it was necessary to say Futuro, okay, is a Spanish word. And one of the questions that I've been getting is do you understand that Futuro is a Spanish word for future? And yes, I do understand that. But what I meant by what I meant by it not actually being a word was that it didn't make sense in the fashion that it was being presented. You have to figure this. It's an American game, or it's driven towards North America. So then they put English words, and thus by putting English words, it implies it's going to go out to an American audience. Okay, aside from being within American audience, the radio station itself, Futuro Radio, it's actually a Japanese radio. So it wouldn't make sense for me to announce, okay, well, this means future in Spanish, so that's what it means. I didn't want a lot of people to be just offended by, or not offended, but kind of taken off to my theory just because I'm basing it on being a Spanish word. I want you to understand that it really didn't even make sense for it to be the future word of Spanish or anything like that, because it was future. So why would they put future and Futuro? They should have just called it Future Radio, but they named it a Spanish word, and it's a Japanese radio station. It makes no sense. So you have to understand certain things about that. And I know it sounded kind of confusing, but the game's kind of confusing, and it's hard to decode this game, especially alone. So yes, I do need more people to kind of give their insight on what they feel. So I respect it, and that's kind of the question answered on that, is that straight up, it just wasn't necessary to add that it was future in Spanish. It wasn't, because I think people understand that it does mean future, and futurology and means future. So that was the point. I just didn't want people to think that it didn't mean anything. So that's one question. Okay, question 2 was, dude, what was your grades in school? Honestly, bro, I've had I've had some good grades and some bad grades. I don't want to be judged on my grades. I think grades in school are some of the worst things in life to give a child. A grade is like, you're telling them that they're worth as much of a fucking letter, and then you kind of keep them on that cycle so they don't know any better but to work for people's appreciation and people's acceptance, so they don't branch out a lot of the times to do what they do, which is why you get a lot of tragedies in certain schools and a lot of other things, But I'm not basing it clearly on that. that's just my personal opinion if you're asking me. So, aside from that, my boy Muzzy, look, and this is for a lot of people. I do want to point out that yes, Wizzle back in the day just wasn't kind of like, you know, he was doing his thing, and now you know, if you feel like he's harvesting videos from fans or whatnot, then that's your opinion. I can't speak on it necessarily because I'm not him, and that's just, it is what it is. You know, I've dealt with beef with that guy, but we're actually cool now, so I have no problem with Wizzle, and I can't really speak too much on Wizzle anymore. So it is what it is. So, but yeah, and to my boy Thomas Davis, who asked if I was going to be getting on Evolve anytime soon. If he wanted to hook up. Honestly, dude, like I tried Evolve during the beta, and I was so fucking confused with just what the hell I had to do. It seemed like fucking Destiny, but like a mix between Destiny and the stupid ass extinction mode that they had on Ghosts, Call of Duty Ghosts. So I don't know. It was just kind of weird. I don't know. It was cool that you could be the monster, though. I'll say that. I might check it out. I don't know. Next question is, do I have an anger problem? No, I don't have an anger problem. I do have a stupidity problem. I have a problem with stupidity, and I really don't feel as though it gets any, it should get any attention around here. Okay, like, which is why I want it to be very clear is that if you have anything negative to say just to start an argument, that shit will be deleted, because my fucking channel is not your playground to argue with my subs and other things. If you disagree with some of the paths that we take, then it is what it is. I can't. I'm not gonna have it. Okay, this isn't Reddit, and we're not gonna start these stupid fucking arguments. You know, we're gonna add constructive things to the mystery. All right. And the only reason I even made a rant video about Reddit is because they ranted about me for weeks. So they, once again, can eat a dick. I don't care. The fuck. And again, that's speaking to the judgmental Reddit user. It's not speaking to all of you, okay? So I understand that too, for you touchy people. Other than that, next question. Do you think it's logical if Claude shows up in GTA 6 rather than 5? Yes, I do. But personally, I think at this point we do have some evidence of Claude, but we don't necessarily have evidence of him being in either game. We just have evidence of him so far in GTA 5, so we don't necessarily know. This could be just the reference in general, or this could just be a reference towards a new game they're making, possibly a GTA 2 remake where we go to Anywhere City. I mean, who knows? It could be where we go back into the past, or technically into the future, and we meet Claude and he's Aaron Paul. I mean, honestly, and I'm going to answer a few things about the Aaron Paul thing at the end of the video if you stick around. But, you know, who knows? It's either here nor there. Let me know what you think in the comments, because that, you know, I personally couldn't answer that question like that. I wanted it to be known that, yes, it is a possibility. Okay, so next question. This is a question that I've gotten at least 10 times in a row. What do mirrors have to do with anything with pyramids, or prisms have to do with anything with GTA? What is, and you know, really, I understand the question, but I think what you need to understand is that they never said that it didn't have anything to do with it. Okay, you guys are assuming a lot of things. But one of the major clues, since, you know, the negative people want something physical, I'll show them something physical. This is a collector's edition Epsilon program box that you get from Rockstar, and that certain YouTubers have gotten from Rockstar. You can look it up. And what do they give them? A prism. A prism, you guys. Think about it. Next question is, how is the cracked egg a crack on the mountain? Okay, now, one thing I want to point out is that, and it's sad that I have to explain this shit a million fucking times, you guys. Seriously, I'm understand that this is like the third time I've explained the fucking egg, but you know, it's because I care about like people understanding. I do, okay? I can't help that about me that I care. All right, so I'm going to inform one more fucking time about this egg, and honestly, I'm gonna bring a little bit more proof to why it just is, you guys. And Mount Chiliad was the monument we were supposed to look at through an egg shape. It was no different than looking at the egg at the bottom of Paleto Bay and see that there is time there, and see it has to do with time. Okay, notice how this trail ends off that way, right, towards the jetpack man, right? Okay, I want you to understand too is that the reason why these two areas are connected is because they are the same areas, but they're near each other. Okay, this is the Altruist camp, but this right here is the jetpack man that we have always saw. All right, that's why it's a little far off, but notice how when you're at the Altruist camp, it's diagonal. When you walk in there, it's going out diagonally. Okay, it's the cliff. Okay, now that's one. Now, when you see the direction from the crack, which I'm going to show you next, is that this crack is going the exact same way towards the Altruist camp. And this fucking this fucking UFO, see how it's connected, okay, is because it's underwater, but it's still connected. It's all there, you guys, and I'm going to show you. And as we see, we're looking at Old Man's Crack, okay, and this is the exact section that we were supposed to see with the egg shape, okay. Now, when you see how I told you the crack goes down that way, just like before, same fucking shit. Alright, then you move it over, and what do we see over here? The Altruist camp. You not understand? I mean, it's right fucking there, you guys. It's right there. It, like, you know, I mean, I want you to understand it's all about the perspective you were supposed to look at. Like, the fucking mural is just showing you the perspectives. Each different section is just a perspective you have to section off. Okay? Like, that's all it is. And that's just for the few who ask this question, okay? Like, and then, you know, one thing I want to do get out the way is we're going to actually talk a little bit about this fucker right here, this goddamn egg. And I find it very ironic, you guys, that it's on the same section that is about eggs, and so far, what we've theorized to be time travel. So, remember that. So now we're at the famous jetpack rock. And, you know what? I really want to say fuck everybody who sits there and has some bullshit ass opinion to my opinion that's like fucked up, because you shouldn't come at me foul when this is the same thing that has been getting people excited for fucking a year and a half now. Something that you have to see in the right light, okay, for one, and that it's a shadow of a carving in a crack of a rock. Alright? I mean, it's no fucking different than seeing that fucking face in the side of Mount Chiliad. They're symbols on fucking monuments. That's all they are, okay? And I'm not saying that's all it is, but these things that are to tell us the locations that we need to do certain things, okay? That's all, and that's all I'm trying to help is to figure out these certain things that we need to do here, okay? And at fucking possibly, and to be honest, you guys, I know I said Paleto Bay. I know I did. But something's leading me towards a route that is connected towards the mountain, the crack, and Paleto Bay. So, that will be coming in a later on video. But for now, I want to stick to just the answers of your questions. And honestly, for like I said, the few of you who really feel as though that the stupid ass cock on the side of the mountain has no significance, then why does any of those pictures have significance? Why does that shit tell us the same time as the UFO? Think about it. They're times. Okay, so to recap, alright? Now, for the people who are open-minded, I understand you get it by now. But for those who don't and are just very curious about this, there would be no other fucking reason they changed this carving. Okay, think about it. It's not that noticeable. It's something you would fly right by. All right, no different than that rock. You would fly right by that shadow unless you sat there and stared at it in a certain angle and understood. Okay, this is a face. Okay, this is the jetpack man they're depicting. Okay, they're the same things correlated to something on the mural, and this head happens to be right under the crack. Alright? Really think about that. Why would it be there? Why? Just answer me that question. Alright? If you really think it's for Breaking Bad, what the fuck does Breaking Bad have to do with the mountain? Just answer me that in the comments and I'll shut up about this theory. Really think about it, you guys. So now we're gonna take these for granted. Look at it. I mean, this is what led us to believe, okay, the fucking stupid ass UFO was gonna show up and beam us up right here, right? But nobody took into account is the fact that the eye is pointing upward, so you have to look at it and see it from a top down fucking perspective, even if you were to ever see it. Really think about that. Now, aside from that, everybody believed in this fucking shit, alright? So really think about that before you judge the fact that they're all the same fucking marking, alright? And again, this isn't to my real jetpack, and it's just for those few who were talking about it. I really believe that that's why they changed it from a fucking carving of Aaron Paul, because people were confusing it with fucking Breaking Bad, and they got pissed off at that shit. They got pissed off and nobody thought about Claude. They got pissed off and nobody really was thinking about the mystery. They were just dumb, honestly. So they changed it to a fucking cock, like, which is another word for a rooster. They would have otherwise put a regular ass chicken on there if it was just supposed to be a fucking chicken. Really think about that, alright? Just really think about it. They changed it to the exact same markings, you guys. It's the same white markings as the other ones, alright? You can see, these are the same glyphs, you guys, that fucking told us what time the UFO was going to show up, alright? Something as significant as that we paid attention to. And they knew we were going to pay attention to, okay? It's the same fucking white. They knew we were going to pay attention to the mountain just by seeing this and seeing what they portray. So, why would they add something as fucking dumb as a Breaking Bad reference to the same mountain? Think about it. If we thought that was bullshit, wouldn't we think this is bullshit too? But no, we took this seriously. Why the fuck aren't we taking that seriously? Because we go by the easy answer. Oh, Breaking Bad. That's it. No. We didn't fucking think about it. What the fuck does Jesse Pinkman have to do with fucking GTA? It has nothing to do with this shit. Meth isn't a big part of GTA. This is probably the first game that has referenced it. So what the fuck does... Why? Come on now. There's something deeper. Period. The fact that, look, you can obviously see that it's the white markings, okay? So it's obvious that people didn't get the connection. They didn't fucking understand. First they saw that, okay, no one was going to make necessarily the correlation between a trail and a cracked egg. So what they did was they added Aaron Paul's face here, alright, as Claude. But nobody made the fucking reference. No one made the connection. No one gave a fuck to make the connection. So, they gave us an easier fucking clue. And, to make things even better, they made it the same color as the other clues that were significant that we knew of. See, we didn't know if the Jetpack Man's shadow was even real or not. But, we do know that it is there. The same way we knew that we didn't know if that was really Jesse Pinkman or not. But it was there. They're both carvings, and they were both supposed to be taken in the same... They were supposed to be taken in the same light, alright? But we didn't take this one into light. We just saw a fucking movie star, and, oh, first thing we thought was Easter egg. But the thing is about Easter eggs, you guys, is that the people who slandered a lot of my theory on this don't understand how GTA's Easter eggs actually work, okay? They're correlated with each other. They're not just bullshit ass Easter eggs. They don't just throw Easter eggs out there to be Easter eggs, okay? They do, but when they do it, they make sure that Easter egg has something to do with something in the game. For example 1, they chose to have this Galileo observatory, Galileo, because he is an astronomer. He dealt with things that were dealing with telescopes looking at the sky, thus the correlation. It makes sense, okay, that Galileo would have something doing with a telescope. Second example 2, when they actually thought, okay, we're going to put a Back to the Future reference, we're going to do it in a fashion of putting 1.21 gigawatts. But they didn't just put that on the side of a mountain to make the reference. They put it to something that it's tied to. A fucking power shack. Think about it. Okay? The Easter eggs are tied to something that has to do with the fucking Easter egg. That's why when there was a reference to James Bond, we got a whole mission with it with Franklin. Think about it, you guys. So why would the fuck they put a Breaking Bad character on the side of a mountain? Why? I don't know if anyone has seen Breaking Bad, but that shit had nothing to do with the mountain. Period. Jesse Pinkman had nothing to do with the mountain. Nothing. They could have easily put a trailer in the middle of their fucking desert. But no, they put Jesse Pinkman on the side of a mountain for a Breaking Bad Easter egg. That's not even a Breaking Bad Easter egg. That's not an Easter egg. That has something to do with something else. There is something bigger here. Trust me. Trust me, you guys. Trust me. And now we're looking at the GTA map, and for a lot of you who have never seen my video about is the map looking at you, then I need you to stop the video right now and go see that video, because this is going to explain a lot without going too far into detail. Now, in that video, I found out that there is possibly an eye right here. And hear me too, possibly. So what I've been working on is getting this perfect line all the way up. And notice how the line, right, goes directly, alright, to the fucking crack. It goes directly there, you guys. You can do this at your house. Alright, I'm not fucking doing any witchcraft here. You can literally do this shit at your own home, okay? I'm just showing you that they literally been giving us all the fucking hints and little things there. We just have not been looking. We haven't. That's all it's based on, alright? And again, notice how the crack is about diagonal, alright? Like it's about like right here, and it's diagonal leading down. Alright? But that's one reason why when you see the mural, in fact, I'm going to show you once again. This is the Mount Chiliad mural, okay? And like I showed, notice how the eye, alright? And you know what I find funny is that you see how the eye is not necessarily symmetrical, you guys? It's not in the middle. It is not in the middle. It's a little far off to the left. It is, you guys. Look, it's fact. It's a little far off to the left. There's a lot more space to this side than there is this side. And I'm going to show you why. Alright, we're going to go back and I'm going to show you exactly why. Alright, now look. Notice how the line, just like right here, and how we showed, goes upward. Alright, but then the crack is to the side. Just like I showed on Mount Chiliad. This fucking thing was showing us exactly where it is. Now I'm going to show you why this pupil leans to its side a little bit. And notice how when it's upside down, it's more to the right, this way. Okay? Now watch. Okay, so now we're back looking at the eye, you guys. Alright, now, if my theory is right about this eye, look at the pupil. Look at the inner pupil right there. Okay? Really get a good look at it. Really look at it. It's right there. See how it drifts off to the right? And it's not symmetrical? See that? Now, look at the eye. You see how it drifts off to the right and it's not symmetrical? You see that? See? And if you're thinking that, well, dude, these fucking, these eyes are just the same fucking thing as the sun and all that, no, dude, they're fucking different, and I'm gonna prove this. Look at this. That's why this eye is centered. Okay? They're centered. Those are representations of the sun. Centered. The things that the split rays that we've seen with Michael, they're all about centered suns. Look at the pupil, okay, of the sun. It's centered. Alright? That's just a shading, but it's centered. See? But with this eye, just like the Mount Chiliad eye at the top, it is an actual eye. It's not the sun. It's the point of view. And the special edition map was showing you the whole time. Okay, you guys, and one last question I want to get out of the way real quick is something that a lot of people have been asking me about, and some have been just plain stating, you know, no, that's not Claude. Claude isn't going to be Aaron Paul because he's already an online option for your parent selection. Now, listen, okay, for those of you who really think that that is a possibility. Now, I'm not hating on what you're saying, but I need you to understand and do the logic before you just say it, okay? Because I've done the logic about it. One, there's a reason, okay, right off the bat that you have John Marston here, okay? The guy is about 100 years old, technically. He's not even part of the GTA HD universe, but he is part of the HD Rockstar universe that they have created, okay? And they're proving that he is part of that universe by having you choose a heritage, okay? A heritage is something that has to deal with your timeline, okay? It isn't based on a character that is in the game. John Marston is not in the game, alright? And I'm going to prove to you, those who think that he's in the code just because you see a few mods out there, I'm going to prove to you that that's just bullshit. It's no different than taking the character models of an online character, like a basic online character, and then putting him in story mode or any of that and modding him in. Because the fact of the matter is that, yes, he exists in the code, but only for this picture. And I need you to get this through your head that this is not the GTA 5 character, okay? This isn't GTA 5 John Marston. This isn't that. This is John Marston from Red Dead Redemption, and you can choose his heritage. It's the representation of him in the universe. And it's no different than them showing that Claude is part of the universe, the same way Nico is part of the universe. But are they in GTA 5? Hell no, okay? Not at least to our knowledge. Now, the difference, though, between John Marston and Nico and Claude is that I feel as though Claude that they show online is just the representation of GTA 3's Claude that we all know of, okay? Because you have to figure this. Are they going to put, for an online option, the old-ass picture of GTA 3 Claude? No, they're not. They're going to show a basic-ass face like this guy and a basic-ass hairdo like this guy. And they're just going to call him Claude because he has a leather jacket and the green jeans. He's a basic looking character by concept. And they knew that we would understand that. So they created a basic character. That's why the Claude doesn't look as detailed as John Marston or detailed as Nico Bellic. He looks as bullshit ass detail as these online characters. Because they rushed and did a regular concept. I mean, really look at him, you guys. He's generic as fuck. This is not the Claude that I'm talking about. This is not the one that we're supposed to meet during this Back to the Future Easter egg. This is not the one in GTA 5. This is the one from GTA 3. Okay? You have to understand. The only reason, look at him. He's generic as all fuck. You guys, he looks no different than the online character I just showed. The only reason he's even in the game like that is because there's no way in hell for an online parent option that they're gonna show an old ass Claude. They're not gonna show this brick looking Claude. They're not gonna do it. They're gonna make a bullshit ass representation of the Claude we know. Okay? But if he's in the game doing cutscenes and special things, you best believe that he's going to have a full live action character. I mean, seriously, if you're really questioning that they would get a fucking actor to play Claude Speed, what do you see here? Actors. And they played all the protagonists, okay? Even in the old GTA days, we had Samuel Jackson playing one of the cops. You have to understand, this is not outside of anything they've done before. Aaron Paul is just one of the fucking many actors that could be, just like any of these guys. To do lip sync right, okay? Lip syncing in order for cutscenes and special things like that, and actual mouth movements, they need an actor, okay? So it makes sense that the old representation of Claude in online has a blank expression like the regular online characters that you would normally choose, because the online characters don't fucking really talk. Okay? Their lip syncing is not right. That's why we go like this when we talk through our fucking Bluetooth. Okay? Their mouths moves like, and it has no real flow. It's just blah 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 blah. Okay? But when you see how Trevor moves his mouth, how Franklin moves his mouth, how Michael moves his mouth, how they have expressions, because they did motion capture. Okay? It's no different than what they would do for Aaron Paul. He doesn't look. Claude modded to be playable in GTA 5. They're mods, you guys. That was only to show you that he is part of the timeline that they're talking about. He's part of the HD universe. It's all part of it. And I'm going to prove to you why these mods are just bullshit compared to what Rockstar can really put in the game, okay? Putting John Marston as a character in the game is just a mod. They took this basic outline of his character, matched it with other pieces of a character, a pre-existing character, and then created the John Marston mod. Trust me. Right. Now we're looking at the mod, and I need you guys to look. Look how his arms are invisible. And the reason why is because it wasn't built for the character, right? Look at him. It's glitchy as hell because it's not really the character. They modded it on Trevor. Okay? And that's all it is. Look at his arms. Why are they wide out? Like they're not even like a character. It's because they modded this, okay? So for those of you who think, "Oh, no, Claude is already in the game. He's in the code, dude, because he's an online character." Dude, that's just the online selection that they're reskinning a fucking character with. That's all. John Marston is dead. So why would they even have him as a character and in the online heritage if they were talking about GTA 5 characters? They're not. They're talking about past characters. Past. Okay? So the Claude that they're talking about is the Claude from GTA 3. Just like this is the John Marston from Red Dead Redemption and not John Marston from GTA 5. Okay, so now we're looking at one of the missions right before you get the space docker, and I want you to, just like my See the Eye video, I want you to notice that Rockstar, when they do their cutscenes, everything is intentional, okay? No different than when I showed you the bird's eye view and how they intentionally put a bird in the background, a huge eagle statue showing in the background, while there was helicopters flying over the Pyrenees building. The thing is that when there are helicopters flying over that Pinterest building, we were supposed to understand certain symbolisms, and it's no different than right here. But you have to understand that there are little things that you have to think about and think, why did they decide to put these things in the background? Okay.
What's the problem, home? Wait.
Okay, notice how he scans
Base
him.
life form, check. 6 feet tall, check. Slightly excessive adipose tissue, normal distribution, check.
Now look,
Readings are
chickens. The
the
chicken right there. And there's a few chickens in the
This
background
dimension's broken
too
again.
before
Check.
the scene starts.
Stardate 14-9-305.
But why would that chicken
Time
just be
is
sitting there? Think about it.
789 past the 9th meridian. We
It's very
are
subtle.
clear.
It's the small things, you guys.
Greetings.
Yes,
CBL.
there are chickens
Carbon-based life form.
in parts of the game,
Greetings, home.
okay?
Have you seen them?
But I mean, look,
Seen who?
they're right in the middle of these guys.
I don't know.
And then they're spaced, look at the scene. They're spaced out so you can see what's in front of
They came to
them.
me last week.
No different than Michael being on that building
Joy.
and then wanting you to see what was on the
They
side.
were laughing and
Okay.
screaming and crying all at
It's
once.
no different.
And some said,
Look at it.
came to me last week.
It's real subtle, but it's blatant all at once. Okay? They got these chickens sitting here right in the middle of the scene. They could have, once again, they could have shot this scene in so many different angles, you guys. Alright? We know they're talking to each other. We don't need a side profile to know that there are two people talking. They could have easily showed the point of view of him talking to him or him talking to him, but they chose to show both of them in a panned out scene so we can see the background. It's all intentional, you guys. They fucking scripted it. Yeah, and so honestly, you guys, like, I'm really tired of explaining the egg, but I will keep explaining why it correlates with a chicken, but better yet, why it correlates with a rooster. And that honestly is too correlated with something they've already tied with roosters. And it happens to do with GTA's past, which is Claude speed. Okay? But my next question is this. Why the fuck would they have a peyote option on the top, you guys, the top of Mount Chiliad to turn into what? A fucking rooster. You guys, come on now. This isn't bullshit now. Why the fuck would they do this? Every other animal damn near is in their habitat. You don't see a shark in the desert. Think about it. You see the barnyard animals with the barnyard animals. You see the mountain lions in the mountains and all the other places. But come on now. Why the fuck would they put a rooster? You know, I understand the birds because it has something to do with what I've been telling people. You know, bird's eye view, the eagle, all of those things that correlate. But, you guys, they put a fucking rooster. Not a regular chicken, but a rooster. You know, I really hate to be cliche, but you negative people need to accept the truth.